Hello and welcome back to Dicebreaker, or should we say Dungeonbreaker? We should, because we've been doing this for ages now. People know what they're watching. We are back. I know you've missed us, because actually you've been telling us over social media, which is very, very nice. But the cast of Misfit Adventurers returns. I'm going to get you all to introduce yourselves and say what's new about your character now you've leveled up. I'm going to get you to do that right now, in fact, and then I'll recap where we are in the story, and then we will jump right back into the action. So, could everyone just say who they are and why they're looking so fresh and third level-y, please?
Well, Johnny, I'm Wheels, and I'm playing Fizz, the Kenku Wizard, and now that I'm level 3, nothing has changed. I've got an extra 4 hit points.
Wow!
Useful.
Wow.
You were incapacitated last time round, so
That's true. I am alive.
there's nothing to sniff at.
Well, I'll go next then. Hello, it's me, Alex Lillies, of the video team, also known as Mist of the Hidden Shara Clan. I'm now level 3, a level 3 bard, which means I get to choose a college, and I'm part of the College of Valor. Essentially the only one that really sounded right for Mist. I also have a new spell. Ooh. Will I tell you what it is? You can see later.
I'll go next. I am also Alex, or otherwise known as Mian, and I am playing Tim the Goblin, who is a druid. He's now level 3, which means he's learnt some fun new spells related to his druid circle of the spores. So we're gonna have some fun with that. They're not what you expect.
I have no doubt.
5 things about Tim's Druid Circle of the Spores that may surprise you. I, rounding out the team, am Matt Jarvis. I am better known as Morboss, the Tiefling Cleric, who continues to be a big shot in the world of Dungeonbreaker, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
As he advances to the lofty heights of level 3, which means I can prepare 2 more spells, which I've done so, and I will keep a secret because I think they're silly.
Very good.
So if I just say
Very
them, they'll
good.
sound incredibly
silly.
boring, so I'm going to think of a more interesting way of using them.
Excellent. So you'll remember in our last sort of 9-episode run, you were pitched into the fires of Avernus and had to try and find a way out because, no one wants to stay in hell for long. So what you did was you made a pact with the demon lord Yeenoghu, who asked you to get the hammer and chisel of one Davan dragon spear, which would open a portal into another realm. It did. You were put into the Sword Coast, which all went brilliantly until a second portal opened, and Yeenoghu sent through an absolutely enormous army of gnolls to take over this realm for his own. So you've basically unleashed a hellish apocalypse on everyone in this area, and we find you standing like on a hill with Amelia Montebank, just watching as all of these gnolls sort of rampage off. This is also a good point to mention. Obviously, you've probably noticed by now that we're a cast member down. That is because, very unfortunately, Dean left the company, so we don't have him. But we're hopefully going to bring him back someday if we can find a way to make that work. So watch this space, because it would be great to have him return. For the time being, we'll just say that he got distracted and went a different way. Seamless storytelling. It's just, wow, that's why they pay me some money. We rejoin Dungeonbreaker as you basically stand there with a slight knot in your stomach watching this whole army has just come through on this opposite side of a valley to you. And you watch as it sort of starts to split off into several sub-armies. Some start heading north, some start pushing west, and generally speaking, you realise you've done a bad thing.
Well,
I'd like to open the scene with Miss just going, whoops.
I didn't realise that we were bringing other guests with us. Excuse me! Hello! Tim's like calling out to them.
They are.
across the landscape.
Yeah, they're a couple of miles away. So you don't get an answer.
I think Morboss would turn around to try and look at where the portal just closed, and be like, you've forgotten me. Your loyal servant, Morboss. Don't, like, I know you wanted to deal with these fools, but please take me back.
That was convincing, Morboss.
You'd rather go back
really
to hell.
convincing.
There is a long silence. All you hear is the wind and the tramping of like boots and the clanking of armor from a couple of miles away, in that kind of like sort of way. But there is no response from Yeenoghu, if indeed he heard you at all.
I'd like to turn to the group and be like, so is everyone agreed we should just go a different direction?
Yeah, well,
Maybe not
hold on. Before we
towards
leave,
the-
we should probably get our story straight. So we were on holiday, right? And then we came back. Well, no, we came to the Sword Coast for presumably the first time ever, and it looked a bit rough. So we just went away, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's actually a lot of people here, which usually I'm all for, but I don't, kind of hoping.
Does anyone exactly know where we are, or is this place usually populated by gnolls, or is this a new thing?
Yeah, probably, Tim. Probably. Like, we
Yeah,
don't
I'm
have
sure
any
there's loads
information
of
to the alternative. So, we should always, Occam's razor and all that. We should assume the simplest answer is that the gnolls have been here all along.
Occam, that famous warrior.
Yeah.
Okay, so to give you the lay of the land, by the way, because you as players obviously know you are on the Sword Coast, but what you are seeing is that you are basically you're up on like this very large hill. Like I mentioned, there's sort of a valley across there. Where you really are is you're like on this big hill. There's the valley, and you saw on the other side all of these knolls come through. There are two rivers that flow around the very large sort of hill you're on, and where they meet, there is a settlement, which is sort of like, it looks simple enough, really. It's sort of like well constructed homes with sort of wood smoke rising from the chimneys. Then they're mostly one story. There's like a water mill. It's clear that a lot of there are a bunch of boats here that are clearly taken downriver and taken out to sea because you are quite near the coast. It seems like a really idyllic place where people will probably be able to tell you where they are if they survive. That is because as you watch, you notice that some form of raiding party has peeled off from the main bulk of one of the armies and is rampaging straight towards this settlement. They currently have no idea that there are gnolls heading for them, and you reckon you might be able to beat them there if you get a wiggle on.
I mean, presumably they'll know pretty soon, right?
Yeah. I think Mist is very excited to be out of hell, so Mist is just like rubbing themselves against the grass and just having a lovely time at the moment. Not very unaware of the slaughter that's
Johnny, are we
about
on the
to happen.
coast?
The Sword Coast is really more of a region. So I'm going to share an image with...
Because I can't remember if you told us in character that we were at Dragonspear Castle or if we were just sort of...
I told you that you could see the ruins of Dragonspear Castle.
Okay. Can I do like a history check or something if I know where the hell this is?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay.
Because I don't know the particulars of how each of the different worlds of D&D works, in the sense that we were obviously born in Eberron. I don't know whether Eberron is actually in any way connected to the Forgotten Realms.
I mean, especially given the route you've taken, I don't think your characters know either.
Yeah.
Okay. This is I got a 13, so if it's
Okay.
yeah, if it's presumably quite difficult to know what the hell's going on, then maybe not.
Yeah, you don't know super loads. I just tried to send a picture to all of you.
Oh no.
Oh.
Am I right in thinking as well that an enormous Cisco has also emerged from
Oh,
the
yeah.
portal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Enormo Cisco, yeah.
He's evolved.
He's trampled off somewhere else though, in fairness. Okay, so the tabaxi is rolling around, unconcerned. You don't know where Giant Cisco is.
Yeah. Tim is. So, I can't believe that Cisco got so big all of a sudden. I didn't realise he was coming back with us, but he seems to have gone off with the gnolls instead. I can't imagine that's going to be good.
I mean, he doesn't look exactly like the Cisco that I would say know and love, but I don't know if there's as much of a friendship between us. But he doesn't exactly look the same, Tim. So we might not want to walk straight up to him and give him a cuddle. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, I would say that there's a definite change in him. I would say that horde of gnolls going towards that village over there. I can't imagine. My limited experience with gnolls doesn't tend to be a good thing when they interact with other people. We should tell them, or...
Well, look, I'm sure we can all agree it would be really nice if all of the people in the small settlement knew that there was a giant army of gnolls coming towards them. They should probably run away. However, on the other hand, if you were to walk up to the village and tell everyone in the village, hey, there's a big army of gnolls and it's about to invade, you then are, of course, yourselves in the village that's about to be invaded by gnolls.
I stop hurling around and I kind of sit up and I go, he does make a good point.
You hear below you, you hear coming from the settlement, you hear the pealing of a bell. It's a small bell for a small town, but it's ding, 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 and you hear the screams begin.
Oh, right. Well, look, they already know, so we should
As people spot the gnolls
late.
and start to panic, because they are starting to reach the outskirts of the place. They're starting to cross the fields where they maintain some crops, and generally speaking, they're well on their way to putting an entire settlement to the sword while you watch.
Well,
Right.
I would say this might be
This grabs popcorn.
this might be a bit of a logical leap, but I fear that us coming here may have caused this army of gnolls to come as well. I feel
Yeah, I mean,
quite a
there's-
bit guilty, to be honest with you.
Well, Tim, honestly, I mean, look, that's, as you say, it's a bit of a leap. But, you know, the other thing to bear in mind is if we did cause said invasion of gnolls, which, of course, there is no evidence toward, then even if we did save the village of the innocent people with the bell, then obviously they would have questions. How many gnolls are there,
I think
Johnny?
missed lots.
There's about a dozen, you think.
A
It's
dozen?
It's hard to tell because they're now among the buildings, and you can hear screams in earnest.
Okay,
and
Miss-
there is a
Miss
curl of
sees that Tim
smoke
is quite
starting up from the roof of one of the houses.
Miss sees that Tim is quite upset, puts Tim in the papoose and sprints
yeah, Tim
Towards
calms
the
down.
village?
her up.
Cat speed.
Can Morboss
Yes.
perform a quick valuation on the buildings
Yes.
to see whether how much material gain there might be from helping the villagers, and so therefore we can make a
Yeah.
fully informed decision.
Okay, yeah, make me a wisdom perception check, please.
Is this like an episode of Escape to the Country?
I rolled a 13.
Okay, the houses are well maintained. These are clearly an industrious people, but from the signs of things, it looks like any spare coin or anything they have goes straight back into improving the village. These do not seem like wealthy people.
Tax
They
write-offs.
seem like hard-working, earnest individuals.
That's me sprinting.
Yeah, this is kind of while everyone else is kind of talking. There's just a box out of Mist sprinting with like anime lines, just like flying past her head.
Fizz turns to Morboss and says, "Look, I'm sure we like the goblin and the cat, but now I'm starting to think we're in a bit of a bad situation here, Morboss."
Okay, no, carry on.
Well, I was going to say no offense, but take full offense. I think I'm more likely to survive if I'm with the cat and the green child mushroom thing than it has a name. Tim, that's the one. Than if I'm with you.
Well, no, I see your point, Morboss. Now, as you probably heard out of character, I have but 14 hit points. However, if you take into account the 12 gnolls that are attacking the village that they're sprinting headfirst into, that does sort of weigh up the equation slightly differently.
Okay, the scream. You are having this conversation while a cacophony of screams is getting louder and louder, and fully a third now of the small town is on fire. We smash cut to Mist. You kind of like screech to a halt, like a cheetah that's overdone it. As you see, there are basically gnolls just rampaging freely with no real plan between the houses. Like one of them has a torch and is setting light to a roof. As you look in front of you, like a gnoll, basically a man runs up with a gardener's hoe and tries to attack a gnoll, and the swing is so like pitiful that the gnoll doesn't even bother batting it aside. It just cuts him down, and dropping its sword, bends down and starts to feast on the man.
Oh, that's not good.
I cast sleep.
Classic.
Okay, yeah, fine. You may roll them bones, please. Has the number of d8s increased with your level, or I think that happens later on, doesn't it?
If I use
that's right. If you cast it at
second
second level,
slot, I roll an additional 2d8 for each slot above first.
okay.
So
how many
plus
do you roll at base? I'll just tell you.
I think it's 5.
Okay.
I'm trying to see, but I remember it as
Okay. I think that's right. Oh, that's not terrible then. I'll let you know. A gnoll has 22 hit points.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'm rolling
Spent enough time
78.
on gnolls.
Yeah. Yee told you.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
He was like, "Oh, the tremendous foot soldiers. They have 22 hit points."
Oh.
I had a lot of really bad rolls. It's only 33.
Oh, that's fine. It still drops that gnoll.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah, but that's only one.
Yeah, it is only one.
No!
But it's a start. This gnoll is like, rah, 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 and then just kind of falls asleep in his food like a toddler in the spaghetti.
Yeah. The post-dinner nap.
there's
Yeah.
spaghetti, all right.
Yeah.
Can
yeah.
Tim jump out of the papoose and run towards where he hears the loudest of the screams?
Yeah.
What does he see?
Sees 4 people kind of back to back holding like pitchforks and gardener's tools. One of them just has like a stool in their hands. And there are 5 gnolls surrounding and just like circling them in like a we're gonna sort this right out. Num num num. We get to eat kind of deal.
Can Tim? Ooh, okay. Can Tim yell at them
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow, I can't believe
And
Tim died
say-
in the first episode.
and say, "Excuse me, Knowles, I think you've done quite enough already. If you want to pick on anyone, come and try me for a size." He's brandishing his club at them menacingly.
Okay. The gnolls.
Still in the papoose.
No, he jumped
No.
out.
Fired out
He left
like a
out.
cannon.
Your limbs
Um,
flailing.
I will say, by the way, Amelia Montebank, you don't know quite where she is, but she started sprinting at the first sign of like. She went down a good couple of minutes before all of you, so you're not sure where she is right now. The gnolls hear Tim the Goblin and turn, and they kind of like they chatter to each other in Gnoll, obviously, and then like with a kind of an alarmingly synchronized kind of whinnying laugh, they move as one to leave the people they had cornered, and they encircle Tim the Goblin.
Before they get too close, can I cast Thunder Wave, please?
So do you mean like the second all of them are inside a 15-foot, say, cube?
Yeah, that would be really useful, actually.
Yeah. Well, it just so happens that gnolls, as part of their hunting tactics, they don't encircle their prey; they ensquircle them.
The cube is
So
in
they form
infinitely
test
better
units.
shape.
Yeah, yeah. They like if hyenas love anything, it's a right angle. So yes, you may cast Thunderwave.
Yes.
Well,
okay.
rather, you can tell me your spell save DC, and the gnolls have to make a Dex save in order to avoid the worst of it.
Okay. You need to make a Constitution
Oh,
saving
it's con.
throw
Sorry.
against my DC, which
Yep.
is 12.
12.
I believe?
Okay.
Is it 12? Yes.
Okay. Ooh, two of them are well, they're not fine because they're going to take half damage, but three of them are going to get hit with the full brunt of your Thunderwave.
Okay. On a failed save, you take 2d8 thunder damage. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. That is 14.
Ooh.
And they are pushed 10 feet away from me.
Yes, they are.
Successful save, the creature takes half as much damage as isn't pushed.
Yep, so that's 7 on the others.
In addition, any unsecured objects that are completely within the area of effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away from me.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, describe this, because you've just... I mean, two of the gnolls have managed to, like, keep their arms up and stand their ground, but you've just, like... You've basically just been, like, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough to a bunch of gnolls, and then blasted 3 of them away. One of them has gone through the wall of a hut that was already quite profoundly on fire, and the
That's
roof has
alright,
collapsed in over the top of them.
Yeah, as soon as they get close enough, Tim pushes his arms up in an energetic manner and yells, "Come at me!" And there's a big thunderous boom that can be heard from a decent amount of space away.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mist, what are you doing to this gnoll that's asleep? Are you going to... It's asleep for a minute.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought that far ahead.
All right, we'll leave you with that at the moment. We'll smash cut back to the top of the mountain where Morboss and Fizz are like...
Fizz is like checking an arcane timepiece.
As the
trying to
screams
line up the sundial.
As the screams get louder, Morboss just takes his tail and puts it in one ear, the ear that's turned towards the village, to try and block it out of it.
From below in the village, you see a kind of like boom, like the distortion of a sonic boom, and then you hear an almighty crashing noise as one of the houses just collapses in a gout of flame. You're like, I think you've probably spent enough time around Tim the Goblin to know what his Thunderwave sounds like.
Oh.
Read that, however, especially if they've had lentils for dinner.
Oh, well.
Just microwave food.
Johnny, are there any other villages in sight?
Villages,
Well, any other settlements whatsoever in sight?
quite distant ones, but yeah.
And
Are you just gonna?
tell? Presumably, they're not being attacked.
They're not. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, look, Morboss. if we were to do the sensible and honest thing, we should probably go and warn some of the others, right? Because this one's screwed. So,
Well, listen, I take this personally. You can't fly. You're not very fast. You're not very useful. You're generally kind of quite thick.
Yeah.
So I don't really.
Sorry, you mean thick with 2 C's, right?
It's mostly
Keep it
the
in
feathers.
your feathers, Birdman. So I think if we don't help the green thing and the cat, at some point they're going to find us, and however many are left, we'll assume basically all of them. They'll probably kill us, so our best bet is to go and help. I don't like it more than you do. But the other benefit is while everything's on fire, if they're already dead, we can just look around and see what's worth some money.
That's true. I mean, I am quite hungry. So if we could get some kind of monetary value out of this situation, that would be good, because then we could presumably go to one of the other settlements that's not on fire and being attacked by giant hyena monsters and get something to eat.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm convinced.
Right. I think at least Morboss will start to proceed down the hill, not running.
A leisurely
just
jog.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like a Sunday afternoon walk.
You've really nailed your colours to the mast early doors this episode, haven't you? Okay, yeah, that's fine. You start sauntering down, so you'll be with us in not too long of a time. Mist.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
There's still a gnoll who's asleep.
Yeah. Well, I don't, unlike some of the other folks in this party, I don't have any rope, so I don't think I do now. So I'll just be. Is there anything around? Like, there's just buildings surrounding us, I suppose, right?
Yeah, stuff's littered everywhere now. It's absolute pandemonium.
Is there anything that could be used to trap this guy, like to stop him from getting up? Is there a library nearby?
A library?
It's not really that kind of settlement. It's
Not, a prison or.
No, I thought I could trap him under like a bookshelf.
That's
There
very
is,
specific.
there is a set of stocks.
Oh, well, you should have mentioned that.
Well, I'm sorry, but you were inquiring as to how literary the town was.
I'll put him in the stocks.
Okay, maybe
then.
a strength athletics check just to sort of pick up this gnoll and dump him in the stocks. Because these guys, they're only medium, so it shouldn't be too difficult for you.
Well, it's a 19.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Like you just pick him up and like heft him onto a shoulder, and like just like do. You just like flip him down. His head goes on the stocks and his arms are there. It's kind of one of those ones with a hinged lid.
Yeah.
So you can just...
I'd like to, because I do have a disguise kit, I'd like to do some face paint on him. Make him look like... Oh, I might like put his arms so that he's got like jazz hands, and then I'll like paint his face like a clown and like try and make him look really happy.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good use of your time.
You
do...
comes back to Yeenoghu like, you want to know how I got these scars?
The gnoll does wake up toward the end of this makeup process, so you have to kind of like dart in to do the final touches. Like doing the cross over the eye is an absolute nightmare, but you get there, and the gnoll is just standing there like snapping.
I'm a professional, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, it's fine. In fact, he lets out a sort of like a very loud bark, which is clearly a cry for help. You hear a scuffling noise behind you as two gnolls sort of emerge from the side of like an alleyway between two buildings. One of them's got like a club, the other one has sort of like a wickedly curved sort of scimitar type thing. And they just sort of size you up until one of them just goes like, oh! And the point of a rapier just explodes from his chest. And then as he starts to look down, is withdrawn. He slumps to his knees, kind of like holding on, and slowly falls forward into the dirt. As the other one turns around, it catches a crossbow bolt right between the eyes. And you see, basically as he falls, you see Amelia Montebank standing there. Like she like whisks the blood off her rapier with a flick of the wrist. And she has a hand crossbow in there and goes, "Oh, Nice of you to join us.
Do you like what I've done with this guy? I'm trying to like cheer up the village because it seems like everyone's kind of
Yes, no, everyone's missed. Everyone's dying. They're not gloomy. They're terrified. Where are the others anyway?
Tim went that way, and the others I think are still on top of the hill.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what Tim's up to. Let's see what Tim's up to. What's Tim up to? You have 2 gnolls, half dead. Well, not half. Yeah, they're okay actually. They're slightly thunderblasted, but largely speaking, they're sort of okay. But they like bits of flesh and armor have sort of peeled away from the force of your thunderdwave.
And Noel's
and
hairy.
they're now, yeah.
So would they just be like fluffed up?
They're not hairy all over, but they've now got wicked mohawks going on. They've kind of got the same scraggly mane as a hyena. Nullhawks, yeah. So now that
They're made out of hyena corpses, right? Because that's what happens in Baldur's Gate 3 anyway.
Oh, there are more hyenas than I thought.
No, gnolls formed after... so the origin of the gnolls traces back to a time when the demon lord Yeenoghu found his way to the material plane and ran amok. Sound familiar? Packs of ordinary hyenas followed in his wake, scavenging the demon lord's kills, and those hyenas were transformed into the first gnolls, parading after Yeenoghu until he was banished back into the abyss. They're humanoid, so they are like largely skin, but they also have like hide armor and stuff like that. But yeah, they have sort of patches of fur sort of on the backs of their forearms and obviously the mane. That whole deal.
Yeah. It keeps them warm, you know.
Yeah, and there are 2 of them looking at you, absolutely furious, actually. Tim.
At this point, Tim is yelling
Uh-huh.
and waving his shield and his club around. And like frothing at the mouth. He's in full like bloodthirsty mode now.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Is it the gnolls go, or do I?
Well, no. I mean, tell me what you're planning to do.
I think Tim is just going to go at him.
All right.
I think he's going to use. I think I can do this. I think he's going to use a bonus action to cast his spores. His spores ability.
The old poison spores.
The old poison spores. Yeah, okay. Well, let's say he's got it up. It's a reaction. So if they appear in the space with him, or if they start. Why are we laughing?
No reason.
He said
I'm just explaining what's going on.
Yeah. He said he's got it up. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay.
he is quite aggressive at the moment.
So there's like a protective barrier of spores.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I think he's just gonna run at the nearest one and go up.
Okay. All right. Could you make me? Are you attacking like with your? What are you attacking
with his club.
Okay. Make me.
Going for it.
Yeah. Make me an attack then with the club.
Okay. Right. Let me do this. Let's just do it manually. We're gonna roll a d20. Oh, I got a 19.
Okay, that's definitely a hit.
Okay. And it's 1d4 plus 1.
It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah. That is 3 damage.
Okay.
He's yelling. The whole time he's running at this hairy thing. He's just yelling and brandishing his club, and he whacks it down on his knee.
Excellent. Yeah, you kind of just. So the spores. Do I need to now make a saving throw to not be affected by them?
In classic D&D fashion, there are specifics to this. When it moves into a space of 10 feet of me or starts their turn there, I can use a reaction to do 1d4 necrotic damage.
Okay, yeah, roll that.
Although you have to roll a Constitution saving throw against 12.
Okay.
What?
He's failed. He failed.
Failed? It's 2 damage. Oh my goodness. It's gone off the rails here, everyone.
So you smash your club into the gnoll's knee, and it kind of like breathes in to yell, and just breathes in a whole load of spores and starts like sputtering and hacking and coughing, and is just clutching at its own throat. The other gnoll is going to run in and is going to try and shtick you. What's your AC?
14.
14. I'm afraid that is a hit.
Oh wait, I've also got a shield.
Ooh.
What does my shield do? Okay, it adds +2. Oh, I think it did it. 14. Ignore me.
Okay, all right. No, that's it's still a hit, I'm afraid. So you take 4 points of piercing damage.
That's fine. He's in his blood rage. He doesn't care anymore.
Okay. Okay. So just as this happens, basically, Mist, you and Amelia like pelt it down. There's a lot of smoke billowing from a house that's quite profoundly on fire, and you kind of like push your way through that. And as you emerge just in time to see 2 gnolls kind of standing over Tim. One is kind of like clutching at their own chest, but the other one you see just grabs a spear and goes into Tim's side. You've just seen your friend get stabbed. So that's you two. We'll leave you two there for the moment on that sort of like mini cliffhanger. Morboss and Fizz, you're sort of there now.
We about? Would you say that we're around? Oh, I don't know, 90 feet away.
I'd say less than.
How about 60?
Yeah, you're
about
on
60 feet?
I'd say you're under
Oh,
60
yeah.
foot away.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what?
perfect.
We come to find you two. You're both sort of standing there going like, "What on earth?" As there is some form of clown knoll in a set of stocks, just like with a couple of corpses in front of it. You think this might be a piece of like performance installation art.
I turn to Fizz and say, cat or goblin?
Rock, paper, scissors.
That's a new game.
Cat or
That's a new
goblin.
game. Cat or goblin.
Cat, rock, goblin.
Well, I suppose we should find them if they're not already dead.
Well, I mean, look, it looks. Can we see the other two?
Make me a wisdom perception check, please.
Okay.
You could probably hear.
That's
That's a
Noises.
9.
I got 16.
okay. Fizz, now you can't see or hear anything to tell you which way your friends are. Morboss, you can hear sort of an absolutely enraged battle cry of like, you know with full certainty that Tim the Goblin is like not very far that way.
Well, assuming there aren't ghosts that made it through, I assume that's the mushroom child. Okay, shall we play? Let's play rock, paper, sword, or whatever the Forgotten Realms version of that is.
I think
Rock,
they
paper, wizard.
Rock, paper, wizard. Yeah.
We do whatever hand things. Should we
Yeah.
roll?
Yeah, it's
Wasted so much time doing that.
these things are solved as well. You know, in these here parts by picking up a curious 20-sided pebble and rolling it and seeing whose roll is looks nicer.
I'd give that a 9 out of 20. Look.
I got 12.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Both of your
choice. Then.
both of your pebbles are pretty done, but like you know, yours has like a little bit of like pearl essence to it. Perhaps it rolled through some lantern oil.
Yeah. I think also Morboss would have used thaumaturgy to knock it just over if it was just on an edge, just to get the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go see what's going on over there. You try and find the cat. Put out some milk or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, unless this town is very much into strange performance installations, then I would assume that that's probably Mist's work. So I'll go that way. You go wherever the hell you're going.
Okay. If you die, try and at least kill one of them, or
if I
do
die,
something
I'm,
useful.
I'm giving them something to help against you, to be honest, mate. Right, I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So you two basically are like, all right, peace. Like you're still not taking this scenario entirely seriously, which is fine. Fizz is like, boop, boop, do, 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 do. You round a corner and your jaw is rocked by a fist, just absolutely sailing into your face. You like, and you look back. You're like, ow! To see an alarmed-looking man. Who's kind of wearing like he's basically wearing like a blacksmith's apron, and he's just giving you like a stiff right into the jaw. You're lucky really, because in the other hand is a large blacksmith's hammer, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, really thought you were a gnoll."
Do I look like a gnoll?
Look,
My name's Fizz.
Oh God!
look, have you got a sword or something?
Well, I've got an orb.
Here, he tosses a sword at your feet. Come on.
I just sort of let it fall.
He,
Oh no! I'm a wizard. Don't worry about it.
right, well, come on then. Succumber's burning, and he starts charging
Yeah, well,
off.
I'm here.
He runs off to rejoin the melee, and you're like, yeah, well, you're just
Calm down.
gibbering at his back as he runs off
Is there
to
a
fight some
general
gnolls.
area of melee then?
Yeah, he'll be leading you off. There's a pack of gnolls that are like are just coming out of a house, like dragging people with them, sort of like dragging a man by the collar. One of them's got a child like on its shoulders, and they're just generally like tee hee hee.
Are they clumped?
Yeah, there are like 4 gnolls together right now.
All right, actually, I'm going to pick up that sword he laid on the floor.
All right. He wants it now.
Well, I'm not going to swing it or anything. But
How crude.
come on now. I might just try and line up a few of them, just so that they're vaguely in the same area. And I'm going to cast catapult on the sword and just sort of launch it at him like a ballista or something.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How does this work?
They're holding people. Sure.
Well, let's see how well he
They're
rolls.
big. It's a Dex 14 saving throw from you.
Ah.
From all of them. I'm attempting to skewer them.
Yes.
Maybe get a 2-for-1 jobby.
I understand.
Like a kebab.
Yeah.
That's
No kebab.
it's actually 3 for 1.
Oof.
What a deal.
Yeah.
And then it's 3d8 bludgeoning, but I'm guessing you probably want piercing in this.
Nah, the sword's going sideways.
All right.
You don't know about martial weapons. You're like, sword, yeah, all right. Ugh.
Look, mate, it's a complicated maneuver. It's not always going to
Yeah.
go straight
Hey,
out.
roll me the damage.
That's 17 damage.
Wow. Yeah, they're really hurt. Like, they're really badly hurt.
Yeah. Oh, everyone thought, Fizz isn't going to be very useful, is he? I just sort of like, just lean up against a wall, like all nonchalant and...
Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
just keeping track of numbers. Okay, yeah, basically the sword just... I mean, if it were flying, as you'd expect a sword to fly, it would have just pierced all of them and done them serious damage, but instead it kind of just like... sort of just clattered them. So one of them's got like... one of them seriously just... basically their chest's been caved in by the impact of a flying sword. Another one's lost an arm. You appear to have... basically, as it spun off from the arm, it nicked another one's neck and it's holding it. And just gouts of blood are just like... firing out. There are 3 gnolls that are really, really unhappy and look at you, and they howl in a savage, that wasn't very nice sort of way, and they start to charge at you. So we'll leave you there. So yeah, Morboss, you kind of you're running ahead. You see ahead of you. You can see Mist standing with her back to you, and beyond that, there are two gnolls next to Tim the Goblin. Mist, you've just seen one of them stab Tim. What are you gonna do?
I'd like to jump on their back and use my claws. Which is... Wait, I gotta roll. Is that a strength attack?
I would guess so, yeah.
Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. It's 22.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it's just... Oh, hold on. Do 4, okay. And that's 4 damage.
Wow.
Slashing.
Yeah, it's not dead, but it is really not happy. Basically, you leap onto its back and you just like rake your claws up, and its face is just kind of like, you know, like when people score a ham. It's like that. Like it is now just like it's not even thinking about fighting back. It's just flailing around and screaming.
As I attack them, I'm like, pick on someone your own size. And then I'd also like to give some bardic inspiration to my good friend Tim by singing "Go Go Tim the Goblin."
Okay. So you're basically riding like a meat puppet now. There's just a gnoll that's just swinging wildly. And Tim, the one that just stabbed you, is still in front of you. Morboss, what are you going to do in this situation?
So Tim's in front, Mist is behind. There are no gnolls between me and Mist, right? At this point, they're all kind of around Tim.
Yeah, well, there's only one next to Tim. There's one beneath Mist. There's one in the stocks. There are... Where are those two from? Oh, there are two that got blasted back by the Thunderwave. They were basically blasted into huts, so they are still kind of getting their way. They're getting up. You can't really see them right now.
Okay. What's the easiest target? What looks the weakest for Morboss to pick on?
You would say the one that's in the worst shape is the one beneath Mist, but that one is so hurt as to kind of be an irrelevance, you reckon? So you think that the most prudent target would be the one that is still looming over Tim the Goblin with a bloodied spear.
Okay. Can I run up and... Yeah, let's just bash it in the head with
All right, it's going to take 1 hit point if history has shown us anything. Make me an attack roll, please.
Okay, so... it's been too long. I've forgotten how to roll. Oh, it's +2. Ooh, I rolled an 11.
Okay, is that really all you get? 11? Are you not proficient with maces?
Oh, I get +2.
+2. Okay, what's your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is +0, like a normal strength modifier.
Yes, classic Morboss.
Hit DC is +2.
Yep,
so.
okay. You basically go up and you tap the gnoll on the collarbone with your mace as if to get its attention. You're like, dut, dut, dut. Excuse me. The gnoll turns and just looks at you and kind of cocks its head in an alarmingly, in a gesture alarmingly look likey, reminding of Yeenoghu. My brain just failed me there. I swear the word begins with R, like not reminiscent, no, it's like redolent, I don't know. Anyway, basically look like he remind you of, kind of looks at you and you're like, that looked like a Yeenoghu, it remind me of him. And it's going to attack you any moment. Tim the Goblin, what are you doing?
Tim is going to cast Shillelagh on his club, which basically improves the damage output. Becomes a D8 instead of a D4.
It is reminiscent. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What am I saying? Have inspiration. It was me being like, no. Okay.
and he can use his spell attack instead of
Ooh.
his melee attack. And after doing that, he's gonna yell and like push the club like between this creature's legs, like really hard, like just whack it up like that. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
That's much better. That is 22 to
Okay.
hit.
Roll me the damage.
It's a D8. That is 4, and I think I still get the +1, so
Okay.
5.
You cave its groin in. So yeah, it basically like it drops and it like just has its hands in the dirt. It's just like and yeah, gives a howl.
Apologies.
You're all good. Yeah, the gnoll is just it's very profoundly unhappy. If you were worried about their numbers multiplying after coming through from Avernus, you don't need to worry about this particular gnoll. I think it's safe to say it looks absolutely harrowed. Right, Fizz, the Kenku wizard. You are with this mysterious man. You've just absolutely annihilated 3 gnolls. I mean, they're kind of just standing there being like, and the man roars his approval. It's like, ha ha, and just crushes one of their skulls beneath his hammer and punches another one in the jaw. This dude is kind of like, how best to describe him? He looks like the blacksmith from the companions in Skyrim. The guy with the sky forge is that dude. And he is just roaring and just cracking jaws and skulls, and basically he lays waste to the 3 around you that were killed. And he throws his arm in the air with the hammer and just bellows, "Succumber!"
I'm just sort of like, cool, yeah.
The rest of you, Amelia Montebank emerges from a hut, cleaning off the blade of her rapier, which is clearly just paid to one, if not both, of the gnolls that were thrown through the walls by Tim's thunderwave. And you can all of you hear this racket of this man just yelling secondment, Satsuma, you're not entirely sure what it is, but someone's doing an awful lot of yelling down the other end of the town. And you can hear a kind of like, ah! noise, because Fizz, he has just picked you up. Like, he's like, you're my mate! And he's like grabbing you, he's like, succumber! But he's managed to hook underneath your arm and across your throat. He's kind of basically got you in a chokehold, and he's like, and as he yells and as the smoke continues to rise into the air, the gnolls seem to lose heart. And what ones you see alive, which is to say very few of them, you see darting off away from the buildings through the smoke, and they start to flee, clearly to regroup with their gnoll pals.
I think Tim, seeing this, is the one still in front of him, or is he down? This gnoll.
Oh, that guy's trying to get up. Like, Mist, okay. You're still Mist, you're still riding this one that's just like, like they're the only two living. Actually, there are 3 living gnolls left. There is in the town. There is the one in front of Tim. There is the one beneath Mist, and there is the one in the stocks in clown/mime makeup.
Yeah, Tim is now just like bashing this gnoll in front of him with his club. He's going, you're not going to do that again! I'm going to get you!
Like, you're killing him, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you all regroup. The man with the hammer that you met, Fizz, is walking along, still, like, bellowing and bellowing and bellowing.
presumably my ears are quite sore.
Oh yeah, and then he unceremoniously just poof, drops you. You fall quite a distance. You land in the dirt, and he just goes, "My God!" As you see Tim the Goblin just like with a club, just being like, "You're not going to do that again!" Like he's just covered in
Viscera.
bits.
Yeah.
Misty, you still just riding the knoll around at this point, or?
Yeah, so in my head, it's like Mist is on one of those bull things where they hold on with one hand and they just like jerk around.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do that until he tires himself out,
Okay.
I think. I'm having a great time. Mist is having a lot of fun in this village.
I just rolled quite a high constitution check, so yeah, I think for the rest of this scene you're just broncoing around.
Yeehaw!
Like, I'm quite strong, so I feel like I've really latched on, and so like he's gonna really struggle to throw me off.
The chap with the hammer thinks this is great fun. He's just like, Amelia Montebank like cracks a wry smile and then sees what Tim's up to, and it's just like, the man picks you up, Fizz. He goes, "Oh, sorry, little bird man. I didn't mean to drop you."
Yeah, that's. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Oh,
Are we done then?
well, we should really assess the damage. You there, get a bucket line going, he yells at some people. People are starting to re-emerge now from their hiding places, and there are still lots of very scared people kind of just coming out, and they're like, "Oh, yes, my lord," sort of way. People are... it's already obvious which buildings are beyond saving, but for example, a couple of them, the thatch has just started to catch, and people are now battling that.
I think at this point Tim has slowed down with the hitting,
Yeah.
and he's just going, "Oh, you can't do this to me! You can't leave me all alone!" And he just falls onto his butt, and he's just like, "Oh!"
Amelia's going to scoop you
now.
up and be like, "Okay, get out of the knoll. Okay, here we go. Yeah, all right, Tim. Okay."
He's
sees
really
a-
snotty now, just crying, like really
sees a-
snotty crying, like
She grabs a...
like
Go
Jenna
on.
Hudson and Cats. Just
She grabs...
Nobody understands
I'm
that
afraid not,
reference.
sorry.
Sorry.
She grabs a sheet
Right.
from nearby and starts trying to wipe your face, and then sort of just gives up and gets you in it and just starts sort of doing this, like she's cleaning a bowling ball. She's like... So you're being sort of lovingly but quite firmly tumbled around in a sheet, which is sort of cleaning you up
Dry it.
while you sort of cry yourself out. And the man turns to you and says, "Oh, well, welcome to Succumber. It's not quite the greeting I would have given you under a normal day, but, well, thank goodness you arrived when you did. Well, just in the nick of time you were. If you'd arrived a moment later, then things could have really turned.
Well,
thank you
obviously,
for rushing so quickly to our
As soon as we
aid."
saw what was going on, especially me and Morboss, we went straight here to help you boys out. So if we could just get our rewards, then we'll shoot off and be on our way.
Mist is like, "I really like it here. You have a lot of fun attractions."
Odo looks at that and goes, "Reward! A fine joke." Really, we are grateful for the help, but we have nothing to spare.
Are you
That's
kidding?
all. No.
Not a penny.
No.
Oh. Well, what was the point of that then?
Well, I'd hoped it would be the goodness of your hearts, but apparently I was wrong.
Yeah. Bet you did. God, bloody hell.
I'm just going by in the background, like, you know, when you kind of like across the camera every now and again. I just go across the camera like, "Woo!"
People are looking at you now with like what was kind of awe and gratitude is turning to sort of mistrust. People are like, "Oh no, is this just another problem?" Odo goes, "Come to my forge. I have a bottle of something stashed away. I'll The people don't need to see this.
All right, yeah, go on then.
Odo leads you to his blacksmith's forge. Mist, it occurs to you that you might need to dismount to get in here.
I tie him up. I tie him up outside like a
Incredible.
horse.
We
Okay.
didn't have any rope.
Well, I'm assuming there's almost like a medieval bike
Yeah.
rack, but for horses, and there's already like rope
Yeah.
there, so I just
No
use
A
worries.
that.
hitching post, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a water trough.
No.
And the gnoll is having a long, deep drink and just kind of goes. Odo sits you all down.
This is my pet.
He
now.
gets out a bottle of. It looks like a very clear spirit, almost like rakia or something like that. And he pours each of you kind of a thimbleful. He goes, "Please, take a seat where you can." It's a blacksmith's forge. He goes, "Look,
I look at the thimble and I think he's a bit stingy.
okay, you gonna drink it? Maybe a Constitution saving throw."
Constitution.
I think Tim is gonna sit up in Amelia's lap and like reach out for the thimble. Like
Yeah, she.
sniffing.
Okay, all right, okay, Tim, all right, okay.
That's a 19.
Okay, you're okay, but it turns out no, he was not being stingy. He was actually being quite generous with that measure. In fact, he's like, "Wow," and he takes the tiniest of sips himself and puts it down and goes, "Well, look. Obviously, I appreciate everything you've done for us here, and I hope you didn't think I was being ungrateful when I laughed in your face about the prospect of giving
Oh
you
no,
some
mate,
sort
not
of
at all.
material." Well, great. No, I'm glad that you see sense. But look, I don't know what that was, and I don't know where they came from. And I admit we're in your debt. If it weren't for you, we'd probably all be dead by now. But listen, things in Succumber aren't that simple. I mean, it's obvious to me, it's obvious to anyone looking around that there's no home for us now here. And what if more of those things come back? Did you see any more? Do you know if there are any more in the area?
Tim pipes out. Well, actually, I think you find quite a few coming out into this area.
Well, I mean, look, they were going a lot of places, really.
Dark days.
Yeah.
Dark days. But look, if we had the liberty, and if those with the boot on our heads had the decency, we'd already be on our way to Waterdeep. We'd grab everything we could and we'd go. But it isn't that simple. Succumber is... how to put this? Well, we're under the heel of some hobgoblins.
Hobgoblins?
Yeah. Something.
Hobgoblins.
They sound like some kind of biscuits.
They
I
aren't.
thought there was some kind of chef variant of Tim.
What's a Tim?
Oh, this is Tim.
Tim's waving.
Oh, no, that's a goblin.
Yeah.
A hobgoblin is much bigger and much meaner.
Are they delicious? Are they covered in chocolate?
I'm very confused right now, I have to say. I don't remember hobgoblins having any chocolate on them.
Look,
I
this
do,
is-
however, remember them being quite mean and considerably larger than myself.
Correct. He throws back his entire drink and pours himself another. He doesn't offer anyone else a top-up.
Right,
That is
so you're saying you can't pay us a reward for saving everyone's lives
No.
because there's hobgoblins who own your town or something.
Yes.
Are you paying them?
We're not paying them. They exact tribute several times a year.
Oh, right. So you should have just said, we just need to go and kill them. We'll just take everything they got.
No, it's not that simple.
Well, you seem quite capable. You can come along.
Look, we don't like it, but it's been this way for years. We give them food and ale and as much ore as we can scrabble from the ground here, and we retain our relative freedom. We're allowed to trade. We're allowed to remain here. They don't put us to the sword. But look,
Well, if you don't like it, you should change it.
It's not that simple. They already left us
Lost?
Sounds simple.
They'd already left us impoverished. The next tribute is due, and that's before we got attacked by those things. So, no, we can't pay you. And frankly, I'm reluctant to let a band of strangers go up the hill and just try and murder them all. What if you
Well, it
fail?
doesn't sound like you could pay them either, to be honest, mate, with the current situation you're in. So
You are cruel.
I will just pipe in here. I do myself remember being abused and frankly bullied by a hobgoblin back when I lived in the swamp before all of this, and it was not very pleasant at all. And they can be more cunning than you think. I feel very sorry for your village, sir. If there's anything we could do to help,
Well, maybe the rude birdman is right. Maybe we have reached the end of the line.
Fizz, he's talking about you.
Now I got it, missed.
We can't pay the tribute. Half our homes are burned.
Listen, mate, look. Maybe this is just because we just turn up. It all seems pretty simple to me. You got two options. Well, I suppose you got three. First one's die, right? Because either you're going to get killed by gnolls or you're going to get killed by hobgoblins. Bit of a rock and an hard place situation, if you don't mind me saying. Second option is, if you had some kind of monetary value here that you could bestow upon us, we could do some kind of, I don't know, bodyguard style jobby. We could take you to Waterdeep. We could protect the town. As long as we got, our cut of the deal. Third option, we could all band together, kill the hobgoblins. We'll take all the valuables that were owed, and we'll, bugger off to Waterdeep or whatever and see if we can get something to eat.
So you're exacting tribute from a
hungry.
starving community either way.
Well, now hold on. That is
Or
a
we
matter of
die.
perspective, isn't it?
Birdman, you're a genius.
I do think the very large man might have a bit of a point, really, because from what I remember, what we said earlier, I think some of this is partly really our fault, if you think
I
about
immediately
it.
put my hand over Tim's mouth.
I know what can cheer you up right now, because I feel like you're pretty gloomy. You seemed pretty happy when we were fighting, and now you seem really gloomy. And I think if you close your eyes, I can make you feel better.
He, with a heavy sigh, he's really not sure about that. He turns to Fizz and goes, "Listen, all of you, I accept your terms."
Yeah, we did get three options. I'm assuming you didn't choose option one.
No, we kill the hobgoblins.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
Yay!
Look, I mean, we dispatched these gnoll things pretty easily, so how much more difficult to kill a hobgoblin is it than a gnoll?
Do you still have your hand over?
They
Oh,
sound
I
He
crumbly.
starts
Still have
just
my
drinking.
Yeah.
He starts
Yeah.
drinking from the bottle at this point.
Do you still have your hand over Tim's mouth?
Yeah, absolutely, Tim.
Just trying to talk.
I'm just sort of like nestling you in, like, oh, that's nice, Tim, like pretending to give you a hug. I'm just like tightening the grip.
Look. All right, says Odo. Let's plan a coup.
Yeah.
And what will the coup be? We'll find out when you finish planning it, we'll start planning it in the next episode of Dungeonbreaker. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode. It's good to be back. And thanks, obviously, to everyone for playing. There are loads more videos from Dicebreaker for you to watch on the YouTube channel,
us.
including all previous episodes of Dungeonbreaker, which hopefully you'd seen before jumping in here. Like, if you hadn't, well done you. You came in really at the deep end. But there are lots more videos. Some of them should be appearing on screen now. Don't forget, you can go to dicebreaker.com for lots of written features. You can go to dicebreaker.myshopify.com for merchandise. And you can see us back here this time